Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalам Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashattaya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reboot. Okay, let's see where we left. So I forgot.
Themselves to transfer to the
Number 11.
inside. Then it
Yatanto yoginas chainam pashyant atmanyavashtitam yatantopya akritatmano nainam pashyantya chetasaha. Yatantaha endeavoring, yoginaha transcendentalists, cha also. Enam this pashyanti can see, atmani in the self, avashtitam situated, yatantaha although endeavoring, api although, akritatmana without self-realization, na does not, enam this pashyanti can see, achetasa undeveloped mind. Translation. The endeavoring transcendentalist who is situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are many transcendentalists in the path of spiritual self-realization, but one who is not situated in self-realization cannot see things are changing in the body of the living entity, how things are changing. The word yoginaha is significant in this connection. In the present day, there are many so-called yogis, and there are many so-called associations of yogis, but they are actually blind in the matter of self-realization. They are simply addicted to some sort of gymnastic exercise and are satisfied if the body is well built and healthy. They have no other information. They are called yatantopya akritat manaha. Even though they are endeavoring in a so-called yoga system, they are not self-realized. Such people cannot understand the process of the transmigration of the soul. Only those who are actually in the yoga system and have realized the self, the world, and the Supreme Lord in the worlds. In other words, the bhakti yogis, those engaged in pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness, can understand how things are taking place. Text number 12. Yat aditya gatam tejo jagad pashyate vasayate kilam yat chandramasi yat chagnau tat tejo viddimamakam. Yat, that which aditya gatam, In the sunshine, Tejaha, splendor, Jagat, the whole world, Basayate, illuminates Akhilam entirely, yet that which Chandramasi in the moon, yet that which Cha also Agnav in the fire, that Tejaha, splendor, thee understand, Mama come from me. Translation. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and all splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Purport. The unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place. The beginning of knowledge can be established by understanding what the Lord explains here. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and the splendor of electricity or fire are coming from the Supreme Person of Godhead. In such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and he is giving here with the hints how they can come back to Godhead, back to home. From this verse, we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole solar system. There are different universes and solar systems, and there are different suns and moons and planets also. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. They set fire to prepare their foodstuff. They set fire to start their factories, etc. So many things are done with the help of fire. Therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight are so pleasing to the living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So, if one can understand that the light and splendor of the sun, moon, and fire are emanating from the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna, then one's Krishna consciousness will begin. By the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is so pleasing that people can easily understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna. Without His mercy, there cannot be sun. Without His mercy, there cannot be moon. And without His mercy, there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, and fire, no one can live. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul. Haribol. Okay, who wants to read the next text? Text number 13.
Yes, Prabhu.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Gama Vishya cha Bhutani Dharmayam Gama Vishya cha Bhutani Dharyama Yamojasa Pushnami Choshadi Sarva Soma Bhutvara Satmaka Gam the planets Avishya entering Cha also Bhutani living Dharyami sustaining Aham I Ojasa by my energy Pushnami nourishing cha and Aushadhi, all vegetables, Sarvaha, all Somaha, the moon, Bhutva, becoming Rasa Atmakaha, supplying the juice. Translation. I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. It is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. The Lord enters into every atom, every planet, and every living beings. That is discussed into the Bhagavad Samhita. It is said there that one planet is portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paramatma enters into the planet, the universe of living entity, and even into atoms. So, due to his entrance, everything is appropriate manifests. When the spirit soul is there, a living man can float on the water. But when he living spark is out of the body and he body is dead, it sinks. Of course, when it is decomposed, it floats just like straw and other things. But as soon as the man is dead, he has one sink in the water slowly. All these planets are floating in a space, and this is due to the entrance of supreme energy of the supreme personality of God. And his energy is sustaining each planet, just like a handful of dust. If If someone holds a handful of dust, there is no possibility of the dust falling. But if one throw it is in the air, it will fall down. Similarly, these planets which are floating in air are actually held in the fist of the universe from the form of the Supreme Lord. By his strength and energy all moving and unmoving things stay in their places. It is said that because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Where is not for him? All the planets would scatter like dust in the air and perish similarly. It is due to the Supreme Personality of God that the moon nourishes all vegetable. Due to the moon's influence, the vegetables becomes delicious. Without the moonshine, the vegetable can neither grow nor taste succulent. Human society is working, living comfortably, and enjoying food due to the supply from the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive. The word Rasatmakaha is very significant. Everything becomes platable by the agency of the Supreme Lord through the influence of the moon. Aham Veshwana Naro Bhutva प्राणिनां देहम् आश्रितः प्राणपानसमायुक्तः पच्चामि अनं चतुर्भुजम् अहम् I Vaishnavara. By my planetary portion as the digesting fire, Bhutva, becoming Praninam of all living entities, Deham body, Ashritaha, situated Prana, outgoing, air, Apana, downing air, samyuktaha, keep balance, pachami, digest, annam, foodstuff, chatur, vidam, four kinds. I am the I am the fire of digestion, every living body, and I am the air of life going and incoming, by which I digest the four kinds of foodstuff. Wow. Purport. According to Ayurveda Shastra, we understand there is a fire in the stomach which is digest all foods, and there when the fire is not blazing, there is no hunger, and when the fire is in order, it becomes hungry. Sometimes when the fire is not going nicely, treatment is required in any case. This fire is representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedic mantra also confirm that he the Supreme Lord or Brahman is situated in the form of fire within the stomach and is digesting all kinds of food stuff. Therefore, since he is helping the digestion of all kinds of foodstuff, the living entity is not independent into the eating process. Unless the Supreme Lord help him in digesting, there is no possibility of eating. He thus produce and we just digest foodstuff by his grace. We are enjoying life. In the Vedanta Sutra, this is also confirmed. Sabda viho nataha pratistahana chaha. The Lord is situated into within the sound and within the body, within the air, and even within the stomach as the digestive force. There are four kinds of foodstuffs. Some are swallowed, some are chewed, some are licked up, and some are sucked. And He is the digestive force for all of them. Haribol.
Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, one of my favorite verses. Verse number 15. Sarvasya chaham riti sannivishto mattasmritirgyanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Sarvasya of all living beings, Cha and Aham I, Ridi in the heart, Sannivishtaha being situated, Mattaha from me, Smriti remembrance, Jnanam knowledge, Apohanam Cha and forgetfulness, Vedai by the Vedas, Cha also, Sarvai, all Aham I, Eva certainly, Vedyaha knowable, Vedanta Krit, the compiler of the Vedanta, Vedavit, the knower of the Vedas, Eva certainly, Cha and Aham I. Translation. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta. I am the knower of the Vedas. Purport. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. Required knowledge is supplied to him, and remembrance is given to him, and he forgets also about his past life. Thus, the Lord is not only all pervading, he is also localized in every individual heart. He awards the different fruitive results. He is not only worshipable as the impersonal Brahman, the supreme person of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. The Vedas give the right direction to the people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna, and Krishna in his incarnation as Vyasadeva is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of foodstuff. The witness of his activity, the giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas, and the Supreme Person of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of the Bhagavad Gita. He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good, God is all merciful. Antapravishta sashtagyananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body, but he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him intelligence to renew his work where he ended his last life. So not only does a living entity enjoy or suffer in this world according to the dictation from the Supreme Lord situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand Vedas from him. If one is serious to understand the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because a living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirms this. Yo sau sarvair vedair jyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the four Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and the Upanishads and Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated. By performing Vedic rituals, discussing the Vedic philosophy, and worshipping the Lord in devotional service, he is attained. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction to understand Krishna and the process of understanding. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Person of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra confirms this in the following words: Tattu samanvayat. Tattu samanvayat. One can attain perfection by understanding Vedic literature, and one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing the different processes. Thus, one can approach him and at the end attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Person of Godhead. In this verse, however, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of Vedas are clearly defined. Very good. Okay, who wants to read the next one?
नहीं प्रभु
Can I read?
Okay,
Can I read the words?
Yes, Prabhu. The Krishna Prabhu
द्वा द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थ अक्षर उच्यते. Okay, what word meaning? Dvau, two, imau, in this world, purusham, purushau, living entities, loke, in the world, sharaha, fallible, Cha and Aksharaha infallible, Eva certainly, Cha and Sharaha the fallible, Sarvani all Bhutani living entities, Kutasthaha in oneness, Aksharaha infallible Uchyate is said. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is called infallible. Uh, per, purport. Shall I read? Okay,
Yes,
as already. Okay, you're reading.
you can read, Prabhu. Debo.
Okay, so okay, the purport is as already explained. The Lord in his incarnation as Vyasadeva compiled the Vedanta Sutra. Here, the Lord is giving in summary the contents of the Vedanta Sutra. He says that the living entities who are innumerable can be divided into two classes, the fallible and the infallible. The living entities are eternally separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When they are in contact with the material world, they are called Jiva Bhutaha. And the Sanskrit words given here, Sarvani Bhutani, mean that they are fallible. Those who are in oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, are called infallible. Oneness does not mean that they have no individuality, but that there is no disunity. They are all agreeable to the purpose of the creation. Of course, in the spiritual world, there is no such thing as creation, but since the Supreme Personality of Godhead has said in the Vedanta Sutra that he is the source of all incarnations, emanations, that conception is explained. According to the statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, there are two classes of men. The Vedas give evidence of this. So there is no doubt about it. The living entities who are struggling in this world with the mind and five senses have their material bodies, which are changing as long as the living entities are conditioned. One's body changes due to contact with matter. Matter is changing, so the living entity appears to be changing. But in the spiritual world, the entire body is not made of matter. Therefore, there is no change. In the material world, the living entity undergoes six changes: birth, growth, duration, reproduction, then dwindling and vanishing. These are the changes of the material body. But in the spiritual world, uh, the body does not change. There is no old age, there is no birth, there is no death. There all exist in oneness. It is more clearly explained as Sarvani Bhutani. Any living entity who has come in contact with matter, beginning from the first created being Brahma down to the smallest ant, is changing his body. Therefore, they are all fallible. In the spiritual world, however, they are always liberated in oneness. Is this 15th chapter? Purushottam Yoga, 15th chapter, Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. Because, okay. Thank you. Okay. 15th chapter. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you very
Can
much.
you
Okay.
read?
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhu.
Danny Prabhu, you can read.
Oh, thank you. I didn't hear at all. Excuse me. Uttama Purusha Tuanyam Paramatmeti Udaritaham Yorokatrayama Vishya Vibaltiya Vyaya Ishvara. Uttamaha, the best Purusha, personality. Two, but Anya, another. Param, the supreme. Atma, self. Iti, thus. Udaritaha, said. Yaha, one who, Loka, of the universe. Trayam, the three division. Avishya, entering. Vibharti, maintaining. Avyaya, inexhaustible. Ishvara, the Lord. Translation. Beside these two, There is the greatest living personality, the Lord Himself, who has entered into these worlds and is maintaining them. Purport. This verse is very nicely expressed in the Katha Upanishad and Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It is clearly stated that that above the innumerable living entity, some of whom are conditioned and some of whom are liberated. There is the Supreme Personality who is Paramatma. The Upanishadic verse runs as follows: Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. The purport is that amongst all the living entities, both conditioned and liberated, there is one supreme living personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintains them and gives them all the facility of enjoyment according to different work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. A wise man who can understand him is eligible to attain the perfect peace, not others. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entities as being on the same level or equal in all respects. There is always the question of superiority and inferiority in their personalities. These particular words, Uttama, is very significant. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Loke is also important, significant, because in the Polosha Vedic literature, it is stated, Lokya te vidalto nena. This Supreme Lord in his localized aspect as Paramatma explained the purpose of the Veda. The following verse also appears in the Vedas. Tavat issa samprasado smach sharirat samutaya palam jyochirupam sampaja shvenam rupena binishpadyate sam uttama purusham. The super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal Brahma Yuchi. Then in his form he remains and is spiritual in his spiritual identity. That supreme is called the Supreme Personality. This means that the Supreme Personality is exhibiting and diffusing his spiritual effulgence, which is the ultimate illumination. That Supreme Personality also has localized aspect as Paramatma. By incarnating himself as the son of Satyavati and Palashara, he explained the Vedic knowledge as Vyasadeva.
Haribol pictures.
Thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Haribol.
That
Amazing.
crowd must be very expensive.
Yes, Prabhu. I like Arjuna's one. These gems are my
Yeah,
color.
very beautiful.
See, Lord Krishna looks like Arjuna's gems. He's as beautiful as the gems, like a gem.
Yeah, actually, they say that the jewels looks beautiful because it's in Krishna's body.
You know. Arjuna addressed Krishna. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier. Here is all the different incarnations. Who's here?
Is it Indra?
Indra, Indradev, Shiva, Gajendra, and Rama,
What was this white horse?
and like I don't know that one.
It's a code horse.
Sitten Uchisraiva.
What, Prabhu?
Was it Uchisraiva, or I'm not sure.
Mm.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's the temple.
Is he Kapila there?
Kapila
I think that is Brahma Dev from the Krishna.
Narada, 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 Vyasadeva.
Know that all these beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations bring but a spark of my splendor. Oh, here is the universal form.
Haribo.
See here all the soldiers of the Kurukshetra war are rushing to the mount.
This is truly frightening.
Yes, bro. I will be scared to see the form. At last, Krishna showed Arjuna his two-armed form. See, this is the most beautiful form. Krishna delivers his unallied devotee from the ocean of birth and death. I'm somewhere here under the waves still. I'm drowning.
I'm not even in the picture.
Yes, so like well,
You see the dark part here? I'm there.
Oh, here is the three modes of material nature. So this is heavenly happiness, goodness. Everything is nicely decorated. Huge peacock is there also in the heavenly planets. Are these lotus flower? Yes, I think.
Yes, bro.
Oh, this one. I think this is Lord Brahma and this is his one carrier.
Yeah, forehead. This is Brahm.
yes, so
Oh, here is our position.
No doubt.
Going on in the material world. Someone is coming with knives, crazy fighting. Passion everywhere.
Woman,
Yes, Prabhu.
killing,
A lot of passion, going, like
And from
celebrating.
passion, one falls to the ignorance.
yeah.
Ignorance, ignorance, ignorance.
Haribo. So this is the banyan tree,
Haribo.
which has its
Yeah.
roots upward and its branches down. So here is the real tree, and here the reflection.
Oh, okay.
We s- we all started from here. We came as Lord Brahma, and we were here at the lotus, and then somehow we went all the way here, and now we're coming up, and now we came back to the human life. Now we can decide what we do. There is the
Okay.
demigods. There is Ganesh. There is liberation. Artha Kama. What were the four things of religion? Perfection of religion. Artha Kama. I always forget the fourth one. But I remember Artha Kama Moksha. But what is the third one? Now I need to Google it.
Dharma, Prabhu.
Yeah, Artha Kama Dharma Moksha. Those are the four things. And this tree is endless. It goes all the way down.
Yeah.
Haribo, the spiritual and material world.
Haribo.
And I heard from Tadvait Prabhu's lecture that only one spiritual planet, the size of one spiritual planet is only a small portion of one spiritual planet is bigger than this whole material world.
Haribo.
Actually, this material world is a rare place. We are on a rare journey because not many beings come to this material world.
Prabhu, where did you read this quote? Because I keep thinking about this Ekapara Vibhuti and the Tripara Vibhuti, the one fourth and the 3/4, like creations.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, but Tadvait Prabhu told that because we see everything in a material way, but it's not like that. That the spiritual world is in a mathematical way. It is three portions to one. We cannot. These are inconceivable things. So he was explaining that just tiny portion of one spiritual planet can contain the whole material world of one spiritual planet. On one lecture he was explaining this, but I can ask from him for some verse related to this, but
All
like
right,
this I remember it.
okay, thank you for clarifying.
And also because in our perspective the whole material world already is unlimited, so it's hard to understand. That's why it said it's 1/4, because then we can get some picture of the situation. It is 1/4 and the other is 3/4, but already the 1/4 for us is unlimited. So what to speak of the 3/4? It is almost impossible to calculate, like give exact numbers that it's this size and the other is that size, because it's inconceivable.
Yes, sure. Okay.
But yeah, I would also like to see this verse again about the, because this always comes to my mind, this that I heard it from Tadvait Prabhu, that he explained that just a small part of one spiritual planet is like bigger than the whole material world. And also the living entities, they are here, the amount of living entities is just tiny compared to the whole amount of living entities in the spiritual world. It is so tiny that, and when we see that, because we can think that it is tiny amount compared to the whole totality of living entities, but when we analyze it, just think about one ant hive or one, there are so many living entities that we cannot understand, but still it is so rare that one soul comes here. It is like, it is so rare that it's said that it is impossible, because it is said that when one is in spiritual world, is when one goes back, he doesn't fall down. But actually there is possibility, but the possibility is just so it's so unlikely to happen that it is said impossible. So we have done something that was really impossible when we came here. It was not supposed to happen even. It is so rare to come here that it is said it is impossible. But still we did the impossible and we wanted to come here. We are rare rascals.
I want to tell Hannibal, but doesn't make any sense.
Yes, Prabhu.
We just supremely rascal, actually.
Yes, Prabhu. Because most of the beings in spiritual world never visited this place, or never are gonna come here, or it's so rare.
Yeah, so we just want to visit. And it's been trillions of years
Yes, Prabhu.
already. Such a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, Krishna is always dancing and waiting. Let's see if I have this. There is one so nice verse. I don't remember which. Tattva Prabhu explained this for many lifetimes.
So like Prabhu did reels, no Prabhu, in TikTok. I think so.
Remember, I will find this verse once. No, it's not here. You remember this that Krishna, the super soul in the heart, is talking, and he says that millions of lives I've been waiting and dancing in your heart and being like jubilant that in this life he will turn to me, and he always got
Yes,
this.
Prabhu, that's which Prabhu did like reels, no Prabhu. In TikTok is there, I think. In TikTok is there, Prabhu, in TikTok. Like that's with Prabhu's channel.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I remember that.
You can go in the Prabhu channel and you can search there. That's it, Prabhu.
Mhm.
One minute, I will go.
I think it was from Bhaktivinoda Thakur or some Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. It wasn't like from Prabhupada quote. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is really nice. Okay, let's read this. Lord Narayana speaking to Gopakumara. This is when he returns to the spiritual world, I think.
So 2.4.83. The verse is
2 point, is it in Bhagavatam? Okay, but let's read from this. So Lord Narayana says, welcome, welcome, my dear boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate, to meet you here. For so long I have been eager to see you. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long hope had me dancing like a fool thinking, perhaps in this lifetime, or this, or this, or this he will finally turn his face toward me. See this, so many times Krishna has been believing us. So now Krishna is not calling anymore him. Krishna is not calling us fool. He's not saying that you are fool for not turning. He's calling himself fool. For so many lifetimes I've been trusting that in this life you will turn. You will turn in this life. He been dancing and like a fool, he says. But we are not turning. So Krishna calls himself fool for believing in us because we are such a fool nonsense. But I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself have created. You showed me no mercy, and as I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth. Dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru, known by the name Jayanta. Today you have at last fulfilled the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever.
Haribo.
Yes, he says that I even transgressed my eternal code of conduct. The Tattva Prabhu's explanation about this is it's the most amazing. Dimitri Prabhu, I think he clipped it. If we search Buffalo, we can maybe find it. Oh, here it is.
When there is love, there is so much anxiety. So Krishna is very anxious actually. It's not just boring. Okay, Paramatma is like, he's eating grass.
What's it called? So see, Krishna is really anxious. That's what Prabhu says.
Or this, he will finally turn his face towards me. But again, it resurrected. So again, अस्मिन् निहेह इव भवे भावी मदुन्मुखः इत्याशया तव अत्यन्तं नर्तितोऽस्मि सदा ज्ञवत्. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime, or this, or this, or this, he will finally turn his face towards me. When there is love, there is so much anxiety. So Krishna is very anxious actually. It's not just boring. Okay, Paramatma is like, okay, he's eating grass, buffalo. Okay, just sit down there. Okay, now he's sleeping. Okay. Next day morning, oh, now he woke up. Okay. Oh, he had sex. Okay. That's. He's anxious. I mean, look at this idiot. He became a buffalo. He's feeling for us. I mean, he has so much feeling. I mean, we can't understand. We think it's, boring and all that. But honestly,
He became a buffalo. Guys, look at this fool.
That's he's anxious. I mean, look at this idiot. He became a buffalo. He's feeling for us. I mean, he has so much feeling. I mean, we can't understand. We think it's, boring and all that. But honestly, see, See, the problem is we think of the Lord as we ourselves would think. That's where this problem comes. How the Lord is paying attention, minute attention to every single thought, every single word, every single action that every single living entity is doing. So to be that attentive and to remember everything that they have ever done, that attentiveness.
And also this, because when we die, we forget all the nonsense that we have done. But Krishna remembers everything. You know how painful that could. Imagine if you remember you have a child and he does something really bad to you, and you always remember that. That will always give you pain. Just imagine Krishna's situation. For trillions of lives, we have been blaspheming him, being atheistic nonsense and doing all animalistic stuff, and he has been just watching and observing what we are doing. So how much pain he has. And if we remembered all the nonsense, if we remembered the past family of our last life, we couldn't be able, we would be so much in pain. We would want to run to that family and find out what happened and to reconnect. So Krishna gives us this forgetfulness at every death because we couldn't handle it. But he remembers everything. He doesn't forget. So just imagine that position and the amount of suffering that we cause to Krishna. Because we might think that he doesn't have feelings or something. When we cause pain to him, it's not pain for him. But it really is, because we are part and parcel of him. And when we cause pain to him, it's pain for him also. It doesn't mean that Krishna is a rock, that he doesn't feel anything. Krishna gets angry also, because when the dissolution of the universe happens, that's Krishna's anger. He's saying that there's so many chances I'm keep giving to you, rascal souls, and you're not doing anything. You just want to be here. Then the whole dissolution happens. The anger of Shiva is manifested, then the great fire comes, everything is gone. But eventually Lord gets again pacified. Then he manifests the creation again. But he has all these feelings. He feels anger also. He feels sadness when we act and he feels pain also when we cause him pain by acting nonsense way.
I
So he
mean,
has always also
how
feelings.
can we understand the Lord? So we cannot try to understand him you know, you know, like what we would think. He's anxious. I mean, he's so anxious, and his anxiety is all the way. That's why he's so anxious that he wants to follow us every single life, whatever stupid thing we are doing. You know. Lakhu Trivedi, Prabhu.
Karibo. Let's see what other pictures there are.
Yes, bro.
Here is again the living entity in the material world carries these different conceptions of life as the air carries aromas. This is maybe one of the most, when I'm been preaching, this is maybe the one of the most showed picture that I've showed to anyone. Because this clearly explains in one picture they can understand. When I say that your last thought, your mentality will bring, if you are in the mentality of dog, then you will go in dog body, a pig. When you show this picture, it should clearly make them understand. Because this man he's like a pig already. So what's the difference? He just gets the original. He wants to be like this, so he gets his mentality in a pig body.
Yeah.
So from this, they should understand clearly what the transmigration means. Haribol, and here is devotee. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, and lust and anger. See here, the one soul is going up, and the one is coming down. And here is Maya Devi. She's
Yeah.
garlanding the devotee. Krishna. See how
The
happy
the
he is
one.
here still. He's
Yeah,
smiling.
it's very happy. It's Pascal. This is me actually. Very happy to. Hey, Maya Devi.
Krishna.
All right.
See this one? This devotee is shaved, and this is not actually. Nice detail.
Yeah.
And here the spiritual master is waiting at the doorsteps, and then the acceptance of spiritual master is the next step.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can go up to
Yes, Prabhu.
Shri
The
Krishna.
first step is attachment.
Yeah. Attachment to this material world.
Yes,
To Maya
Prabhu.
Devi.
And see here, when he hasn't stepped over attachment yet, he's not yet hooked. He's not yet entangled. See,
Yeah.
in this situation, he's still free, but he's thinking. But when he steps over attachment, see what happens.
Yeah. Pride.
All these
False
entanglements come.
false prestige. Yeah. Ignorance, anger.
Yeah, this is anger. Personificate. How is this word said? I don't know. But yeah, here is anger personified. Here is greed. These are the three enemies: lust, anger, and greed. They're actually persons.
The first one is lust.
Yes, this purple one. He has big ears.
The anger and greed, they originate of lust, emanate of lust actually. Yeah. So
First comes ignorance, and then there is envy. But see, first he was happy and smiling, and now he's very distressed. But yeah, a confused fellow.
so frustrated.
Yes, Prabhu. See this? It is 10 steps. 10 steps from this place that is just on the doorsteps of spiritual world. Just 10 steps down from there, one is already in animal life, in complete darkness.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yes, Prabhu.
I wish I can have the opportunity to get initiated by
Yes,
Srila
Prabhu.
Prabhupada. I don't want to do this nonsense again and again. It's truly painful actually.
Yes, Prabhu. And this also is everything is controlled by Krishna when the soul goes here. He really wants, because he's not, but he chooses that, oh, I want to go there, and then Krishna makes it possible.
Yeah,
Nothing is
but
like actually forced. Nothing is forced that, oh, Krishna will first someone has the desire to go to darkness, then he gets the chance and opportunity. But Krishna doesn't throw anyone there. That you go
This is
there.
true love. This is true love
Yes, Prabhu.
when it is not forced. But like you said, it doesn't mean that he don't feel anything at all.
Yes, Prabhu.
He feeling pain with us actually.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, he's because at the same time he doesn't throw us away. He gives everything according to what we need to come back to him, and also he follows us. That's the one thing, because he, even though we are here, he is still looking after us. Even if we are in the worst case situation, in some tiny bug's body, he's still with us, looking after us. So we are still under his protection always. He's trying to find ways to how to bring him back.
I think that we must learn about by example, because he's showing us how to truly love someone.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is absolutely sublime actually, because he can force us to remain in the spiritual abode with him, but actually he doesn't do this.
Yes, Prabhu.
He fulfill our every desire, and he is always with us, and just don't interact at all and watch all our nonsense and downfall, and again and again he will be with us. I think that is absolutely sublime. This is true love. This is true love.
Yes, Prabhu.
So uh, we just need to do things like him actually. So gradually we will be able to uh, have the same amount of love that he has, like Srila Prabhupada has through him. This is what we need to do, become pure devotee actually.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
this is needed if you want, if we want to go back home, back to Godhead.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's true.
So this pictures is really nice actually, really nice.
Yeah.
This
Really,
explain it
Nimanita
all.
Prabhu explains this to the in the children classes, so those are really nice. And he has so much.
Yeah,
He notices so small things that I cannot see in the picture, but then he can explain always.
yeah, I like to watch this video. It's very inspiring.
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, I have explained my son this picture, and s- they they can also show you some details that uh, they have because little children, that they are pure in consciousness. So they will have sometimes some details, so they will see the things that we actually don't see at all.
Yes, Prabhu.
So it's really nice to talk with children and
Yeah,
talk Krishna.
sometimes
Yeah,
they might even have much more spiritual advancement and knowledge than we do, because we don't know
actually,
how long they have been in
absolutely,
a human body compared to us. And
absolutely.
usually parents think, or older people think, that the kids don't notice some things, or but they notice it as much as the adults do, sometimes even more. But they
Yeah,
just don't say out everything that they notice, but they notice all the details also.
they actually love picture,
Yes, Prabhu.
like Nimai Nitai's son. He really loves the pictures actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, here is the three modes again. No, not three modes, but lust, anger, and greed.
Yeah, three enemies.
And yeah, then Nimanita Prabhu always like acts when he shows the picture. Sometimes he acts, he does this voiceover thing. zooms and those are the best part, I think.
I love this. This is really good, actually. He's very talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is like father and son things, you know.
Yes, Prabhu.
I can understand because with my son, I will always be acting and
Yeah.
doing this crazy stuff, you know. But this is more alive. This is preaching, and it's alive, you know. It's not dead things, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
You need to to bring the to bring aliveness in this preaching, yeah.
Yes.
Because they are pure in consciousness. These young boy really are very intelligent, actually.
Yeah.
So I I I, I really uh, take full responsibility, because I think I must take him to Krishna consciousness. Yeah, because it's really my responsibility in this life.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. This was
Uh,
also, yeah, this is the most important thing with parents. So they lead the
yeah.
child. And even if they themselves, because one might think that there is the verse that if one cannot deliver his son, he shouldn't become or spiritual master, a husband, or uh, a
Yeah. Yeah.
parent.
Yeah.
There is this
True.
verse, but there was
Yeah.
sometimes a question asked in the Q&A that what about the parent who a person who has became a parent but he knows that I cannot deliver? So it was asked from Sundar Gopal Prabhu, what should a person like that do? And Sundar Gopal Prabhu explained that you just deliver the child to the spiritual master, to the Kurukul, that's enough. He said you don't have to yourself teach, just bring him to the spiritual master, bring him to the Prabhupada or at other devotees or Gurukul, then that way the child will learn these things. So and will be delivered. So we don't have to like personally also do everything about the delivering.
Yeah.
Just bring him to Prabhupada, then eventually Prabhupada will do everything.
I think that for me personally, it will be glorious to me
Yes,
if I can um, lead my son to take shelter of Prabhupada feet, lotus feet. I think that this is the most glorious thing to me in this life
yes, Prabhu. That would be,
because it's so hard, actually.
yeah.
his his mother will not let this happen.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I need to really pray to Krishna and Lord Chaitanya because really hard thing.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhupada will give you strength, surely.
Yeah, I will not be discouraged
Yes,
because I want to remain in the association devotees. This is the most straightened things to do, actually, for someone who is feeling alone, to find a bona fide association of devotee and be there and care for each other. I think that we can uh, have strong bonds and then remain strong. But if we are alone, this is not possible, actually.
yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So just want to be there, be here with all of you, and grow strong in my bhakti, actually. Yeah. So all glory Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, all of you,
Yes,
for
thank you.
your very nice and precious association. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Srila Prabhupada.
What has happened? Some Oh, my notes are gone. I don't know what has happened.
No, really?
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Hommage respectueux,
Krishna
mon
Prabhu.
humble obéissant, tout bas, Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. Hare Krishna and Thomas Brown, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Does this mean?
No problem. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Terrible. We continue from this picture tomorrow, but now it's getting too late and I need to also do offering of Boga. But this was weird that my notes are gone on the computer, because these are some really old notes from 2015. These are not my notes, so I don't know what happened.
Krishna's arrangement.
It's from
Prabhu Chani, on a un problème avec le téléphone n'arrête pas de déconnecter.
Ah, ok. Attends, je vais...
I
essaye de m'envoyer un message sur Telegram, s'il te plaît.
Excusez-moi, Prabhu.
Il n'y a pas de souci, renvoie-moi. On se rejoint sur Telegram.
Okay, Haribol. Let's read Shikshastakam prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagninirvapanam shreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatmachnapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्ना मकारि बहुधां सर्वशक्तियुतः स्थिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्ममापि दुर्दैवं ईदृशं हैजनीनुग्रहा
Trinadapi sunichena, talolapi saishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari.
Natanam Nasundaram Kavitamaya Namachamani Tamye Pavata Bhakte Hetakitwaye.
Ainandatanuja kinkalam pachitam ambishame bhavam buddho kripaya tava pada pankaja stitaduri sadrisham vichintaya.
नयनं गलदश्रुतारया वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति.
विवाहितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा परिवेशितं पुण्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरहेण मे
Aslisava para ratumam Alisava para ratam pinastumam Ardarshanam Mamahatam Kurutava Yatatatava Vitatalam Apananastu Seva Naparaha.
Haribo, glory to the Sri Krishna
Haribo.
Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have vested all your transcendental energies. They're not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
Oh,
Why don't you chant the... you go on, Prabhu. Go on. Please.
one, one, one. One, Prabhu, one.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of all prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such states of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire to be beautiful man, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causes, devotion, service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice chalk up, and when will the hairs on my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna has my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embarrassed or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally reborn.
Sri Siksastakam ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai.
Okay, then the
Jai.
10 offenses. 10 offenses to the holy name. First offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second
Second,
offense, to consider the name of demigod Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master and to consider him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense,
Yes, that's
to
part of it.
blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be in imagination.
Sixth offense, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth
Eighth
offense, to
offense,
consider the chanting of continue, please continue.
you already read the, you continue, Prabhu.
Okay, eighth one, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as productive activities karmakanda.
9 offense, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Pancha
Kalpatarupya Sarva Sindhubhyo Patitanam
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah.
पंचतत्व की जय नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय जय गौर प्रेम
Jai.
हरि बोल
Hari Hari Bol.